What's up, y'all? I am back. Usually I don't do back-to-backs, but I guess today is different. Happy Saturday. It's your girl, Ashley Rain. I'm a little sleepy, but I had an amazing day today, you guys. I got the opportunity to speak at San Jose City College at an event, and it was awesome. It was awesome. Shout out to Professor Sharp, who invited me to be the keynote speaker today. It was absolutely amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I talked about knowing yourself, growing yourself, and then showing yourself. But anyway, this video is not about that. I just wanted to give a shout out real quick. So this video is titled The Nigerian. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. I think it's kind of interesting. Yeah, like I just felt led to share. So I was flying back from Atlanta. I'm gonna try to engage with you guys too if you have questions, but y'all know how it is when you're on a live video. You like trying to talk and then you trying to read and then you trying to talk, so y'all bear with me. But anyway, I was on a plane from Atlanta, and this flight is stopped in Las Vegas. When we stopped in Las Vegas, this guy, he walked to the front of the plane. So the people that their stop was Vegas, they got off of the plane. There were several of us whose stop was Oakland, so we remained on the plane. So this guy is a Nigerian. I didn't know that at the time. But he walks to the front of the plane and he asks the flight attendant something. I don't know what he asks her, but I see him talking to her, and she's telling him, she's like shaking her head no. And I think he was asking if he could get off the plane or something. I don't know. But and y'all don't laugh at my like Nigerian accent if I try to do it. But anyway, so he couldn't get off the plane. So now he's looking at the back of the plane, like he's looking at the people on the plane, and then he makes eye contact with me. He walks toward me, and he says, are you from here? And I'm like, I'm not from Vegas, but we're going to Oakland. So if you're asking me if I'm from Oakland, then yeah, I'm from the Bay Area. So he's like, I need to get to Berkeley. And he said, can I sit next to you, right? And so we were on Southwest. So yeah, I'm like, okay. So he sits next to me. Now, this is a sad truth or sad reality. I know that I'm not the only one, but some people have heard that like Africans or Nigerians or whatever like are all about money and try to scam or do some craziness, some like crazy rumors that we picked up along the way, right? So I'm naturally a little skeptical of why this guy is like wanting to sit next to me, and he seems like he really is like wanting something, and I don't know what it is that he wants. So he's talking to me and he's asking me questions, and I'm asking him questions, and asking him questions like, you know, what is he here for? So he told me that he was here because he was trying to buy, or he had a meeting at a plant in Berkeley, and he was trying to take energy to Nigeria. So that's interesting. That's not like a common conversation, right? That's not like your everyday conversation. So then I started asking him like what he does. And so he was a contractor. He had several businesses, and he was fairly young too. Again, I didn't know this at the time, but I'm telling you guys this information that I found out later. So then he says to me, he was like, I need to get to Berkeley. Don't laugh at me. So I'm like, okay, well, when you get to Oakland, you'll be a lot closer to Berkeley, right? And he was like, I need you to give me your phone number. Like, I need your phone number. And I was like, I'm not about to give this random dude my phone number, right? I don't know him, but I have two phones. So I'm like, maybe I'll give him the throwaway phone number, and we'll see what happens, right? So we have this hour-long flight. I give him my phone number, not my regular number, but my throwdown number. And we get to Oakland. We part ways, right? It was just crazy. We actually had a great conversation on the plane. So we get to Oakland. The next day, this man sends me a text message on my phone, and he says he needs my help. I'm not going to keep doing the accent because I know y'all are dying at me because I'm not good at that, right? So he's like, I need you to, can you find my food, right? So I'm like, find your food. So he wanted some African food. So I'm thinking, I have never had African food before, but Yelp, I could find some African food. So I text him back. I'm like, sure, I could find your food, right? He says, I am in Berkeley now. Look at me trying to do it again. He's like, I am in Berkeley, but I can meet you. I can come to you. So now I'm lightweight, slightly crazy, like a little bit. So I'm thinking, am I really about to go meet an African that I don't know in Berkeley to try to get him some African food? So what I did was I called my dad. Like, y'all don't know, my dad is super supportive of me. He like helps me with so much, right? So I said, and he probably thinks I'm crazy, but he trusts my craziness. So I said, okay, Dad, I met this African on the plane and he wants me to take him to an African restaurant and I don't want to go by myself. I need you to go with me. Now, y'all know I got a gun or whatever. I'll be feeling like, okay, I got some training. I can do some things. Anyway, so my dad says, okay. Yes, he said, okay. My dad drove from Tracy, met me. We went to Berkeley. We picked up this African, right? We picked him up and we went to the African restaurant on MacArthur and 38th. I know some of you are familiar with it if you're from Oakland. Right, so we get there and it's crazy. He's super excited. He's happy to be there. He's like conversing with the owner of the restaurant. They have friends in common, family like from the same, I don't want to say like tribe because that sounds like wrong, but from the same area in Nigeria, and they're having this conversation and I'm like, this is super dope. So he orders edakaiko. My Nigerians can correct me if I'm wrong. He orders some edakaiko and they teach me how to eat. Me and my father, we had pepper soup too. And he teaches us how to eat African food the way that they eat it, right? So now I'm having a very authentic experience in Oakland because I trusted my craziness, as Miss Esther Jones says, I trusted my craziness on a flight where I met some random African. So anyway, so we're eating, we're having a good time. And so then I said, Dad, we should probably take him around the Bay Area and show him around. So we did. So we hopped in the car, drove him across the Bay Bridge, and he was so fascinated by the bridge. He said, who did this? Like, I need to meet him. Who did this? And so I'm like, this is crazy. He was fascinated by how we build high. You know, the buildings in San Francisco are, the stories are really high. Even the homes are really high and close together. He was impressed by how we use our real estate and land, right? And he wanted to take that back home. Then he asked, and so then the way, like what he told me about his past, he actually had a lot of money based on what he was telling me. Like, I don't know. He could have been lying, but based on what he was telling me and the questions that the follow-up questions that I was asking, he was showing me that he had some money. So I'm thinking, I'm going to take this dude to Pacific Heights where the people got money and I'm going to show him some nice houses. So we get to Pacific Heights and out of one of the houses, this lady walks and she has on a real like full-on made like uniform, Tyler Perry, black and white uniform. And then I'm trying to be all, eloquent and articulate. I'm like, yeah, see, people here have maids or whatever. He looking at me like, we have that too, And so I'm thinking, okay, this dude is not impressed by this. And he was telling me how they have drivers. So he said, if you ever come to Nigeria, we have cars and we have drivers. So we set our people up with cars or with drivers. So I'm like, this is really interesting. And I tell you guys, the most random question he asked me after we went on a tour of the city and a tour of Oakland. He saw, when we was crossing the bridge, going through like where Emeryville is. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about if you're from the Bay. This man asked me if he could go to IKEA. So I'm like, man, I'm trying to show this man Pacific Heights. I'm trying to do like the most. And he wants to go to IKEA. Sure, we could go to IKEA. Do you know that this man was more impressed with IKEA than he was impressed with anything else that I showed him, me and my father showed him? He was amazed at the cost of the furniture and he wanted to figure out how he could get it back to his country, right? He was just like, who created this? Excuse me. Who created this? I need to meet them. Like, you know, all of these things. And so I thought that his mindset was super dope, because he wasn't asking about, you know, the furniture specifically. He wasn't asking about, you know, how much money people make. Every question that he asked has something to do with innovation, and it has something to do with knowing who created it, you know? And I feel like that's another level of thought. Y'all know I always got some like perspective or lesson, but I feel like that's like key, another level of thought that we tend to not visit, because we're so focused on a surface level. We're so focused on like what things look like. Y'all give me a thumbs up if you still with me. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy to think that a foreigner came from another country and saw so much value in the place that we call home that we neglect and pass by and pass through every single day. So this man, and then, so we dropped him off. We had a great day. We dropped him back off at his hotel that he was staying at. And the next day he had this meeting at this plant in Berkeley about, you know, bringing energy to Nigeria. And I was able to follow up with him about how his meeting went and who he was talking with. And just that conversation was such a blessing to me. And it all started because this random dude was on a plane. He asked to sit next to me, this Nigerian. And I trusted my gut. Like, my gut I didn't feel fear. I didn't feel like I wasn't, you know, that it wasn't a safe thing. But it was definitely different. It was slightly awkward and uncomfortable, but I went with it. And it was a blessing for him. It was a blessing to me. And me and this man, his name is Fabian. Me and this man and my father are we're friends. So this happened a while ago, but I wanted to share with you guys, like, it added a relationship to my life as well as it did to his. I spoke with his wife. She thanked me for showing him around and taking care of him while he was here. She was super grateful. Like, we were on the phone, everything. So I just wanted to hop on, like I said, share that story with you guys, my time with this random Nigerian, and just encourage you to, like, sometimes you got to trust your craziness. It's super unorthodox to spend time with a stranger, but some of y'all are strangers to yourself. You know what I mean? So maybe you need to start there, spend some time with yourself. Anyway, it's your girl, Ashley Rain, your perspective advocate. Hashtag perspective advocate. Happy Saturday. I hope you are enjoying your weekend. I know I am, and I'm looking forward to Sunday. All right, God bless y'all, and I'm out. Peace.